Make sure Andy's ready.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for asking.
I will call the meeting to order at 6:16 on Monday, what's the date? The 23rd, 2023. Let's see what we got here. We have some consent agenda items. Got minutes of the October 2nd, 2023 school board regular meeting. Some general fund vouchers and purchasing card transactions. The fund vouchers are 180522 through 180700 and 292508 through 292547, and a purchasing card transactions dated 8/21/23 through 9/20/23. There are also some professional staffing recommendations that don't require a vote, so I would look for a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Sure, I'll move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Tom.
And I will second.
Thank you, Kate. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
4-0.
4-0, I'm sorry. 4-0. Two meetings in a row. Angie, do we have any public comments?
We have not received any public comments.
Okay. Then that takes us to the McFarland High School student report. Make yourselves seen. There they are.
Hi, okay. Hopefully this works.
Rock solid. Rock solid so far.
Oh, beautiful. Buttons are great. I wonder if it's gonna, oh my God, wow. Okay, sorry, I haven't done it on here before. Okay, cool. Nadia, you do get to start.
Okay, so yeah, what's going on in MHS? So last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, we had homecoming weekend where we had dress-up days during the week. I think the middle school did as well. And then Friday, at the end of the day, we got out of class a little early and we got to go to the pep rally, which was filled with activities from the homecoming court. Then after school in the evening, we had the football game where McFarland kind of dominated. And the band had their final homecoming marching band performance and the senior feature night.
We also have our homecoming court picture to the right, and this year's homecoming royalty was Breland Roeder and our very own Joey Lewis, who sadly can't be here for me to embarrass them, but it's fine. In addition, for that homecoming football game, DECA hosted another McFarland football tailgate. We raised $2,007 with over 300 meals sold. And then we also had a miracle minute for MDA during halftime, which raised $479. Part of the proceeds went towards the Make-A-Wish Foundation for our tailgate. It's uncertain how much, just due to expenses. And then also the marching band made an appearance for a couple songs at the tailgate.
I heard it was
Next,
a rousing
the fall.
success.
Yeah, it was really, really good. There was a line like down the parking lot. It was a little intense. The following week, we had Right Out to Wipe Out Cancer, which was us partnering with the girls volleyball team. Shirts were sold before the game, as well as there was a pre-order, and we sold them at school for $12. And then we also sold ribbons for $1, which were in honor of people who had cancer. There's a miracle minute at half, and the total we raised was $1,775, all going towards the UW Carbone Cancer Society. And McFarland, the girls volleyball team, won against Monona Grove for their senior night, which was just cherry on top for a good day.
Also on Monday, October 9th, it was Indigenous Peoples Day. And in recognition of this, MHS hung the Ho-Chunk flag outside of the school, and we have one now put up in our cafeteria. And then also, I believe just the weekend before was the land acknowledgement ceremony, which was kind of put on by Mr. Ward in a sense from the high school. Another homecoming festivity was Mr. Ackley and Ms. Brazel organized a bunch of high school students as representatives to come and teach the EPS children how to be a superhero on October 6th. And so they went and spoke to all the kindergartners, first graders, and second graders about how their differences give them superpowers. And I have heard from a kindergartner that it was a very fun time. So we very much enjoyed it.
Personal testimony. This one's yours as well, I think. Where's this mine?
This one's yours.
Oops, my bad. I couldn't remember. On October 11th, it was National Coming Out Day. GSA acknowledged us with an announcement and posters around the school. And then the following week, on the 18th, it was Pronouns Day. So GSA members bought some pins and handed them out to students and staff. They had tables before school, as well as kind of going door to door.
Also, in last week, we had some students represented at the Badgers Honors Orchestra, which every year a few students from each schools are selected to represent their school and their musical talent across the entire state. So this year, Jacob Nix, Riley Mlucky, and Annika Cheeto were all honored and represented McFarland very well at the All-State Badgers Honors Conference Orchestra.
And great.
Okay, so now to update you on some of the fall sports. The girls tennis had their sectional a couple weeks ago and ended off their great season, bringing home a second place trophy. And Mia Mistel, Stella Blau, and Kylie Meinhold all made a great showing over in the sectional in Stoughton. And then girls golf had their regional, where they also ended their fantastic season with an 8th place overall at the regional conference.
Our girls volleyball team had a really successful week. They had 2 big wins in the regional semifinals. They won over Platteville, and then on Saturday night, they won against Stoughton, Battle of the Border, to become regional champions. And then their next game is against longtime rival Edgewood at home this Thursday, so it's going to be a great game for everyone who shows up.
Boys football on Friday went all the way up to Milwaukee to play in their first round of the playoffs, and they won 38-10. Very impressive. And they'll be playing this Friday at Monroe in the second round.
Boys soccer also had a very successful week, coinciding with girls volleyball. On Thursday night, they came away with a home win against Dodgeville. And then on Saturday, they advanced by winning the title of regional champs over the Dells in a 2-1 overtime win. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they lost to the Dells last year, so this is a really great redemption story for them. Very proud. As well as the boys cross-country team. I know Bruce Fisher's over here, so this is probably a big win for you. The boys cross-country team is state-bound for the second year in a row. They took second at their meet on Saturday. Isaac Ewing took 3rd place, and in addition, sophomore Hannah Kirch qualified for her second state in a row, taking 5th place. State will be at Wisconsin Rapids next Saturday. Scott Fisher is definitely gearing up for a big win.
Okay, and then just to update you on what we have as a club have been up to. So we have begun planning for an event we're calling the Equity Picnic. It's kind of Valerie's whole brainchild. It's amazing. So on November 16th, Connect will be hosting the McFarland Equity Picnic, an event that's going to bring all the social justice clubs and equity groups at MHS and IMMS together to discuss their goals from the year and how to grow as like leaders in their school and leaders as individuals, and have lunch because that's fun. So I think you all should have received invites tonight. Possibly.
Thank you very much.
Oh, they didn't get them yet? It's okay.
It's all right.
I can confirm they're at their seats. They may have not opened the
Oh,
envelopes.
they're at their seats. They just.
Oh, you guys should take a minute. Well, you guys kind of maybe look those over. We have a couple other things we've been working on. We've been really focused on increasing student involvement. So we have 2 Google Forms that should be going out in a week or 2 where students can vote for which teacher does the bells. I don't know if you've heard, but the bell system now has a voice attached to it. So we're going to have students vote on our Instagram on who can kind of be the next teacher, obviously with their consent, as well as starting a staff spotlight at MHS where students can nominate them for their hard work and put that in the daily or in the weekly announcements. We've also been looking for more volunteers for our upcoming admin meeting in a couple of weeks. We had our first one last month, And then we've been working to find some more students, in particular leaders from other clubs, to join us at these meetings. So we are working really diligently, so it's not just us all the time when we graduate. Kind of hope the legacy lives on. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask away. I can stop presenting now.
And what happens at the admin meetings that you were referring to?
wanna
We
go?
just kind of like bring up anything we've been like, any kind of rumblings we've been hearing from students about like things that are going good, things that we don't like, just things that are kind of questions. I think, at our first admin meeting we were kind of took things that had been questions we've been hearing from a lot of students about some of the changes, because obviously there's new administration, so like some of the policies and stuff have been changing in school. One of them like was about our advisory ASR kind of time. And so it's just kind of, we ask the questions, they give us an answer, and then we kind of disseminate that to students sometimes is a lot of what goes on.
Thanks.
I loved your PowerPoint tonight. And I
Joey
love the
makes
fact-
some.
I love the fact that you're connecting now with the IMMS. I think that November, is it 16th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a great idea. And what just a thrill for those younger kids.
Yeah, you guys should all have invites, so you're all free to come to that event. And if you have anyone else that you kind of know that's like really involved in the school or like equity work, you can also. We're also looking, not to like plug it, but we do need some money to feed people. So if you do know any business people, you can also pass them our way so we can get some sponsorships.
Nobody will ever come up and hand you money unless you ask for it.
And I'll keep
Don't ever
asking.
be embarrassed about asking for money for great stuff like this. People want to help. They really, really do.
Cool. Does anyone else have any other questions, Darby?
No,
I'll
just
get for today.
only a comment. It's amazing what goes on here in the high school and the opportunities that are afforded kids. So thanks for sharing that with us.
I noticed in Thistle that the Monona Grove School District had their first ever student report to their school board, and it looked very familiar.
How could that be?
It's good.
How could that be?
Started a trend.
Well, and I just want
I did
to
not hear about that.
just let you guys know that all this work that goes on, raising money for these great causes and getting out there and doing, those things take effort, to organize them and to pull them off. And just know that all these things that go on are noticed and very much appreciated. I think sometimes, you don't really know, but people are paying attention, and you're just doing a wonderful job.
And I think they're gonna make a difference, and they are making a difference.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Kudos to you.
Kudos is right.
Thank you.
Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Have a great
Have a
rest
good
of
night.
your week.
You guys too. See ya.
Yep, bye now.
See ya.
Okay. Informational items, the first one being school safety written drill evaluation, notification and review per state, Wisconsin State Statute 118.074 CP.
As you can see in your materials, there was an administrative hold due to a medical issue at Conrad Albion Primary School, and excellent action taken by those involved to get the student the help that they needed quickly, and was resolved well.
And I think the write-up was well-written and very self-explanatory. So- And I know it takes a lot of time to do that, but I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, they were very reflective on the situation, handled it very well.
Okay. Next is an action item. Action on the second reading and adoption of policy 2105, mission of the district. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the second reading and adoption of policy 2105 as recommended by administration.
Thank you, Kate. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Oh,
Go
Bruce.
ahead.
Bruce, thank you. Discussion?
Yeah, I'm glad somebody caught that. I think it was Melissa.
It was Melissa,
And,
yes.
It's amazing how shortened it became.
Yeah,
Just
what a
one
difference.
sentence Versus a whole page of
Much leaner.
wordiness, yes, so
Yeah.
thanks for doing that.
Good catch.
Okay, then. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved 4-0. Now, we have action on 2023, 2024 budget changes. Mr. Mahoney.
Did you want discussion after your motions, or?
Oh, didn't get motions on this, I'm sorry. Yeah. Do I have a motion to approve the action on budget changes?
Sure, I move to approve the budget changes for the 2023-24 school year
Thank you, Tom.
as recommended by administration.
Second?
I'll second.
Kate, thank you. All those in favor?
No,
No, we've got discussion?
Discussion.
There we go.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, for discussion items, I can go through those line items and just give you a brief overview of what your first and second motion mean. First of all, you had posted at the correct information for the upcoming annual meeting this evening, but with a few gaps because of the timing of the information we get from the state, most notably state aid and our equalized values. So in all due respect, I'll go back to the simple formula of revenue cap minus equalized aid equals taxes. So that first line item that you approved in the revenues, or you may approve, is that our taxes are increasing from what we had previously approved, which is an estimate, by $243,000 due to the fact that we have less state aid than what we had anticipated due to the change in from July 1 aid estimate that came from the state to the actual aid estimate that comes at this time. Additionally, to help balance out some of the other areas, we updated the interest earnings expense, or interest earnings revenues that we would be anticipating to about 39,000 more. And then state aid is the third line item there, of which it decreased $123,000 from what was estimated as of July 1 by DPI. But personal property aid was finalized at $42,633, so that's increased, and also exempt computer aid, all of which come through the general aid process. So our actual revenues for state aid only went down about $71,000. So our revenue change was $211,079. Our changes in expenditures do equal the $211,079, of which $123,974 is for more general open enrolled tuition for those that are open enrolling out of the district, to a total of an estimated $545,874 for this year. And we also have independent charter schools, students that we pay for. Again, that comes out of the expense of the public taxpayers to the private independent charter programs. And that is on the revenue cap formula of $201,385, so $87,000 more this year than what was anticipated for this year. So again, matching revenues and expenditure changes to our $60+ million budget.
You happy?
With,
The way things.
I think we did well with our estimating, and when I say we, a lot of it is me and DPI.
Yeah.
So, this is really not a lot of difference from previous years. Now, again, the board will continue to adopt budget changes throughout the year. As the next wave of changes that the board will see is the changes that we've had with any of our grants that have been finalized over the summer and even this fall. We actually just received another notification of some ESSER funds for a small, I think, $13,000 grant that's coming through. So we do get a lot of changes throughout the year. But this one,
we try to make sure that only the items that affect the annual meeting are part of this budget change, because the board does control the budget.
Anybody have any further questions or comments?
Jeff, do you have an estimate of how many students are open enrollment out of our district?
Yep, we're over 50.
50? And how about number of students in private charter schools?
I don't have the numbers that are specific to
Okay.
that,
Okay.
because it's a rolling average.
Yeah. I'll just make a comment on the format that you've used here. It's very self-explanatory. It's so clear, so thanks for doing it in the way that you do.
It's right down to the object function
Yep.
and responsibility codes, which is not normal, but it's a lot easier that way. That way, our auditors actually track right back to this document.
Okay,
So,
good.
yes, the independent charter school funding system is a little unique, and it's becoming more unique, because at some point, the limits are supposed to come off. And that's why there's a challenge to the Supreme Court on our multiple funding programs that we have for multiple different educational opportunities,
A lot of options out there.
which is great,
Yeah, yeah.
options for kids, but challenges for funding.
Yeah.
Difficult. It does. Anybody else? Once again, thanks, Jeff. Your work is beyond reproach. Every year, your estimates are very, very close, and I can't recall a surprise in the last 15 years or so, so
Been a surprise.
let's,
I've had a couple surprises.
well, they didn't scare us all that bad,
And there's a lot of good people down at DPI that do good work. and
I'm
provide
sure.
us
I'm
Good
sure.
information, so.
Okay, anybody else? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Let's see, another action item, action on recommended WEVA Destinations Career Academy and Insight School of Wisconsin, statute 118.408G, student transfers to resident districts. At this time, WEVA Destinations Career Academy and Insight School of Wisconsin are requesting approval of recommended student transfers back to their resident districts due to lack of engagement. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that one.
Thank you, Bruce. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Kate. Discussion.
I'm glad to see that there was just a very limited number of names
Less.
on that list.
Less this time. than
Still
normal.
concerned that, well, that anyone that gets on the list, particularly someone in kindergarten, because they can't
It's hard
do
to
much
understand.
themselves. You
No.
know, they totally
It's
rely on
totally
the
parent-driven.
adults in their lives. The good news, following the WEVA board meeting last week, is that they will now report on students who have been re-engaged with WEVA.
Okay.
That's really
And
good.
some of the things that they've been doing to bring them back into WEVA before they disengage them.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. Because I know they're doing much more now than they did previously as far
Yes.
as trying to save these kids. So this will be another step in the right direction.
Anything else?
Thanks for that information.
Thanks very much, Tom. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. District Administrator's Report, Mr. Tarnitzer. The
Saved me
floor
for
is yours.
last, just to make sure we had time. So I'm gonna fill it. No, I will try to be brief and give you a little break before the annual meeting. Some shout outs to give, some recognitions. First of all, our Human Growth and Development Committee had their first meeting, well-attended. Melissa Full, her attention to detail is so impressive. And the chairperson, Brian Weaver, did an excellent job. I was not there, I just welcomed them and left them to do their work, but heard wonderful things. A lot more work ahead, though. It was very foundation building, but appreciated that. Obviously, want to recognize the sixth grade team and Jamie Thomas and Brett Jondal for their leadership, especially the team leaders of sixth grade for their leadership with Camp Timberley. So Molly Sanders and Sydney Tranel did such an excellent job, but everybody that was there really takes a lot of people to make it work. Parent volunteers, so many staff involved. It requires a lot of planning and a lot of energy to meet the energy of those students. So I had a lot of fun there myself. Just always another opportunity for a campfire. Even had Andrew Garvey, fifth grade teacher, come and help support as well. And the kids were really excited to see that too. So many great memories there. I wanted to also just recognize all the preparation that is done for family teacher conferences. So teachers getting ready, prepared for any, family that's going to arrive with details, student work, the amount of organization that goes into this, including virtual options, is really valuable. So those are underway, and we're excited about those opportunities, well-timed. We also have had a really coherent plan for bullying, harassment, prevention, and intervention month. So really proud of Brittany Brazel for her leadership there, and everybody's united front in a common message. So I wanted to share that with the board so you're aware. Really coherent plan to address and prevent bullying and harassment. Last week was a National School Bus Safety Week, so just want to remind us of how fortunate we are to have a safety-first and friendly bus service with Nelson's Bus Service. Health Services staff continue to organize the dental clinics. Maybe you see those sometimes in some of the weekly updates for staff, but that's just such a neat thing, and I just don't want us to take that for granted. That didn't used to happen. So it's a really great service, and they actually, for the high school, they're kind of back here, so we get to hear the work being done. So well used, those appointments book quickly. So thanks to those that organize that, our health services and Bridging Brighter Smiles. And tonight, I believe tonight was third grade open house, and obviously we're here. So it's happening right now, so poor timing on our scheduling on our part, but what a great event. Have some photos to share with you. These you may have seen from our social media. Hopefully you don't, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna share them with you instead of just sharing them on my screen, which looks great. By the way, here we go. One of the things that you'll notice is that once again, the high school stealing all my thunder with their presentation, but you'll see some duplicates there. All right. All right, so a shared read. What a great idea, a family book club. So the whole school at CEPS reading Charlotte's Web, I believe, is their shared read. So just a kind of a neat thing and a shared event. Love that idea of encouraging families to read together. Of course, it is fire safety time, so had the Visit 4K students visiting the fire department. I even have memories of my visit to the fire department all those years ago. Maybe you do too. It's such a neat event to do. Here we have some addition strategies. One of the things is we often showcase these huge, big events. It's fun to see. This is regular learning, kids engaged in some fun addition strategies as they learn math in a fun way. I love this providing breakfast entertainment. Reminder, we saw that a little bit outside before. And here we have some students playing a little bit here for their fellow students. Neat thing. I want to see this in person. I haven't had a chance to do that. Third grade classes having math class, more math class. They're really doing it well. Outside. Imagine that, math outside. Fifth grade book club unit, very excited. Look at that picture, isn't that clever?
Noses buried in their books.
All showing that, right in front of the read sign. Very clever, well done. Continuing that with drop everything and read time at Wabisa, you can see this real focus on literacy that's always been there, but it's accelerated this year. Banner Day, the Wacky Olympics. I don't know if you've seen these. I feel like maybe I've shared these, or maybe I've just told everybody about them, because you have to love that that is a 7th grade teacher in the dinosaur costume. So showing the school spirit with Jamie Vizina in there. It's a lot of fun. Beautiful day, too. Doing the wood box unit in 6th grade, you know, reminder, that's their first real exposure to technology and engineering. So what a neat project to have. That first time really making something like that is pretty special. Alliance of Allies Breakfast, and that is a group that really brings together people of all abilities to share and enjoy and have good times together, and they have these breakfasts. So you can see lots of smiles, including retiree Jackie Hickey there, flipping cakes there, being helpful. So one of the founders of the Alliance of Allies group. More Morse code device unit in more 6th grade tech ed, right? How exciting. Oh, this is also their first exposure to family and consumer sciences. So French bread pizza, and I think that is new with a new teacher. I think that's new to this unit. So exciting for that. Science cells outside. Look at that in the beautiful grounds at the middle school. Oh, and this, you may have seen, we heard about Indigenous studies before. This was the class, Mr. Ward's class, going to the mounds themselves and exploring. 7th grade also does that as well, right here. We talked a little bit about the Honors Orchestra. I think it's neat to see the palatial picture of where they played. The business management and finance went to Quick Trip, and it sounds from the write-up from that, sound pretty overwhelming, all the stuff that they learned from Quick Trip, and what a neat thing that they put on. The students had a blast. Heard great things about that. Of course, homecoming events. Yeah, right? Brought back the Grand Marshal idea. I heard that was a big deal. That was a lot of fun. I know some of you were able to join in that. You heard about homecoming royalty. Great picture. I just think that's a really neat group of people. You heard about this. This was that assembly they were telling you about that was organized with, they were rock stars. Those high school students were rock stars at CEPS. Really fun. And our Optimist Student of the Month, of course, Elise. Congratulations to her. Well deserved. Amazing person, athlete. This is, you can see a little bit more, some lessons. We shared lessons in, throughout the district and flew the flag that is in, there's one of the flags inside of each of the buildings. Different places based on what worked best. National School Lunch Week was actually quite a while ago now, but we are so fortunate, and I get to eat here every day, and I can tell you it is amazing food. They do such a great job. Creative meals, always trying something new. That's my favorite time, is when they let me sample the new stuff. And we talked about National School Bus Safety Week and how fortunate we are to have Nelson's. And that's the slideshow. In terms of other things, this week, tomorrow is 6th grade band demonstration. They don't call it a concert. We're not ready for that quite yet. If you are looking for something to do, that is a blast. It is so fun because you go to that one and go in the spring, and guess what? They sound a little bit different in the spring. And conferences I've talked about, we have staff development on Thursday, so thank you families for finding arrangements for your kids both on Thursday and Friday, which is a conference release day to compensate staff for the many hours spent with conferences. November is Native American Heritage Month. Also that the 4th and the 5th is in the Madison area when the Hmong New Year is recognized, and we'll see you back here on the 6th for school board meeting. That concludes my report.
Aaron, can I just add, we truly are fortunate to have Nelson Bus Company here and the drivers. I just heard on the news tonight that Madison is thinking of revising their start and finish times for several schools because of the issues they're having with their transportation provider.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Tough times. It's so complicated, and I am so grateful, and especially for Jeff's leadership. And they're always looking, what changes could we make? How could we make this better? It's really impressive. You know, moving down the road, that's something that, you know, you always have to be keeping ahead of and thinking, how can we improve this system? So,
I thought they did an incredible job, you know, during the pandemic and such, just to keep our heads above water. It was a
Yep.
very, very difficult time, and I thought they were stars.
yeah, we are very, very
And I think
fortunate.
the personal relationships they have with the families of the kids that ride the bus is second to none.
Yes.
Yeah, I would challenge any school district to have that level of relationship and bonding with their kids and families.
Yes, I was
that we do.
walking up to the middle school this morning to visit there and greet students, and I heard some students, middle school students, getting off the bus, thanking their bus driver. 2 in a row, thank their bus driver. And I thought, you know, that may seem like a small thing, but getting a middle
Yes.
schooler to, without prompting,
Yeah.
say thank you to someone,
It's fantastic.
I'll take it. So it goes both ways.
Okay,
All right?
in that case, I guess I would look for a motion to adjourn.
I will do that.
Bruce, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Kate. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. We are adjourned at 6:52. Okay.